What feels like a million years ago, but was actually just the 1990s, I interviewed for some scholarships. I had a dream to be a broadcast journalism major. I wanted to be a reporter. I was willing to work in radio or television. I didn't care. And when I took my first radio class in this orange shag carpet studio, I remember talking to a professor for the first time, pitching him an idea. And he said, whoa, let me interrupt you right there. You're not going to make it in radio because you sound like a little girl. I was pretty devastated, and I thought, he's crazy, he's overreacting. But that night in my dorm room, I went to order Papa John's pizza, and they asked me to put my mom on the phone. So, we're going to talk about vocal delivery, but I want you to know that your vocals are something you can hone and you can change and you can shift. So some of you are going to say, this may not sound like me, but there are ways to make your voice have variety, but also have impact and power. So we're going to talk just about a few of those. 3 key aspects of vocal delivery. One is the volume. You want to project your voice. You don't want to feel like you're yelling at people, but you also want them to be able to hear you. So if you're a soft-spoken person, you should turn your volume up just a little, and if you're not uncomfortable, you're probably not doing it right. Tone and pitch are those things that are high and low, and oftentimes they can communicate, I know what I'm talking about, or I don't. If you end with a higher pitch at the end of a sentence, it sounds like you're asking a question. You're not sure. If you end at the end of a sentence lower, you sound confident. You know what you're talking about. So practice, play with some sentences, and then rate. You can talk really fast at the beginning of a speech. You want to slow down towards the end, like you're landing the plane. You want your vocals to signal your audience at the end of your message. We are in our final descent, just like you're the pilot. Here are the 3 biggest mistakes that students make where they lose points for vocal delivery. Too soft, can't hear them. Too monotone, sometimes this happens because they're reading a presentation. And too fast, again, can happen because they're reading. They move through it so very quickly. So here are your strategies, and here's what I'm going to encourage you to do when you're delivering your speech. Use pauses. Take a deep breath. Write them into your note cards, not fillers. There's some tricks that you can do. One of my best friends says that when she took this course, her professor said every time they said they had to say umbrella and then start over. And eventually, it cured them of it. Listen to yourself when you feel like you don't know what to say next. Don't say, take a deep breath, just pause. Enunciate, don't mumble. This one's hard. And especially, I have teenagers who struggle with this, but you want to slow down, make sure you're doing what we call articulate. And then use variety, not monotony. Don't have one speed, one tone the whole time. Make sure that you practice times where you speed up a little, you slow down a little. Maybe you get a little louder, maybe you get a little softer. All of those will make your presentation more interesting to your audience. It will keep them engaged. And here's my final best tip. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. I think I could go on the radio now, and I don't know where that professor is, but I know that I've worked on my vocals, and I have practiced enough that I know how to use them effectively to make an impact with my presentations.